It's the Cinema 9 Podcast. It's episode 202. Today we will focus on Reality Bites, a movie chosen by Eric Branstrom. I'm Mike, he's Travis. This is Cinema 9. It's what we do, cinema9pod@gmail.com. We'll focus on Reality Bites shortly, as we always like to open the show with greetings and salutations. So, Travis, greetings or salutations?
I feel like greetings is more natural. Salutations is a forced word. That's not something that people walk around saying ordinarily.
Oh, wow.
But greetings to you, good sir, and to you, Eric.
Hi.
Hello.
All right. Good podcast, guys.
Yeah, so we have a follow-up from last week's emails. Remember, Chad hit us with double dose of emails. So this one's titled "Oops." A rare miss by Chad. Yeah, did he? Remember, we didn't get the answer last week. He sent us that clip.
Oh, yeah.
Society, man, society.
Orange County.
Yeah, I was convinced. I never looked it up to verify it, but hey, I neglected to actually say which movie that Society clip last week was from. Oopsie daisy. That's right. Oh, oopsie daisy.
Whoopsie daisy.
Whoopsie daisy.
There you go. Good guess on Jack Black, but it was actually Vince Vaughn and Emile Hirsch.
What?
Wow. It was a scene from the 2007. Wow, it was from
Unfinished
Into the
Business.
Wild?
Oh, Into the Wild?
Into the Wild.
The 2007 Sean Penn vehicle, Into the Wild.
Huh.
Not sure if it holds up, though. That's a question for you fellers. Chad. Wow. I'm just going to play it one more time for us because, God, I swear, that really did sound like Jack Black.
Gotta be.
This is Vince Vaughn? Let's,
The Sick Society.
Emile Hirsch.
Society, man. Society.
Yeah,
Society.
okay.
Society.
Society.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
society.
Yep.
It really sounded like Jack Black. It did. But I hear the Vince Vaughn now that I'm told. So.
Well, Emile
Wow.
Hirsch sounded like Jack Black. Vince Vaughn does sound like Vince Vaughn.
No, I thought the reverse. I thought Emile Hirsch sounded like Emile Hirsch. Oh boy, this is
Oh,
always
yeah.
good. This is
100%. I thought we were talking Vince Vaughn sounded like Jack Black. You thought
Yeah.
Emile Hirsch sounded like
Yeah.
Jack Black?
Yeah.
no way, dude.
I thought that was Colin Hanks. Or, right? Is his name?
Colin Hanks got a raw
The
deal.
Sick Society.
That's Emile Hirsch.
That's society.
That's Vince Vaughn.
Society, man.
That's Emile.
Society. Society.
Society.
Society.
You're right.
You know?
My bad.
Society.
Okay,
He's not that good.
I never saw it.
It's like, whatever.
Eddie Vedder soundtrack heard it was pretty good.
Yeah, that is good.
Shiver River. Flies by.
You guys are good at
Oh,
that.
it is.
I remember how to hoy.
Yep, that's it. Hawk in the air for like 10 minutes.
Actually, there was I do like some of his solo stuff. I do admit that recently. I think it's kind of good. So. Or I don't even know if it's Pearl Jam or Solo Eddie. Anyways, it's not a music show. Travis has a music show. Check it out. 93.94, a music podcast.
I'm actually recording with Chad tomorrow. We're talking about Weird Al's Alapalooza on 93.94 tomorrow
Well,
morning.
Aaron's going to love that. Aaron, there's no bigger Weird Al fan than Aaron.
I've never heard Chad mention Al Yankovic my entire life.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Chad's a great guy. He's maybe laugh a lot. He knows movies. He's a cinema buff, a master. But I don't really think of a lot of music with Chad. I don't know why that is.
Well, you can
Chad, you
hear,
want an email show? Let us know.
you can hear us talk about Tom Waits already. We did that episode a while back. We
Oh,
talked
he's
about-
already been on. Okay.
Yep, yeah.
Well.
We talked about Black Rider, but now he's coming back to talk Weird Al.
I've never been a Tom Waits guy, so I guess maybe I skipped that one. Sorry, Chad.
Meatloaf.
Nothing personal. Meatloaf? Ma, the Meatloaf? Anyways, that sounds great. Okay, cool. As you take a delicious swig of your water, which I don't hear at all, unlike my water swigs.
Silent water.
What you got there, Eric? What is that? What the hell is that thing?
New Belgium grapefruit papaya Dominga.
Oh my God, that sounds disgusting.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds fruity as fuck.
Really
Oh
good.
a grapefruit beer? Did I have this correct?
Well, yeah, it's an IPA,
Beer.
right? It's
Ew.
an IPA.
Yeah, it's getting the job done.
Oh, wow. Well, who am I to judge? Travis, would you like to judge some movies you watched recently?
It's the papaya that throws me, not the
Travis,
pineapple.
how's your first week of school?
Oh, Yeah.
Oh, thanks for asking. I mean, my students aren't back until after Labor Day, so it's all just been
okay, yeah.
professional development, which means you know,
Jesus.
yeah, lots of sitting in a room with like 100 other teachers listening to people talk.
Bloodborne pathogens modules.
hell yeah,
those?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
stay up to date. Stay up.
Seclusion and restraint,
Yep.
BBIS has been all that kind of shit. Yeah,
Don't let it lapse.
Yep.
yeah, that's what we're doing. You
lose your license.
how was your week?
Good, man.
Good.
Doing great.
Good.
You guys have performed CPR on any of your students yet?
No.
I hope not to ever. Although
Sure.
I did have a student accidentally get blood in my mouth last year when I broke up a fight, so that was really cool.
Oh.
Yep. Woohoo! Teaching.
Wow, my.
Yep.
The
Yep.
things we do for love.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't a lot, but it doesn't take much to be upset about it.
That's. I'll have to think about that for a while.
You
Okay.
of all people. You of all people getting blood in your mouth.
All
Yeah,
over
oh my
face.
God.
And,
Yeah, you must
so-
have freaked out, man.
What can I fucking do? I was in the middle of. I mean, I obviously went in the bathroom and like you know,
Yeah, exactly.
like
That's
clean
what
my
I'm-
glasses and like spit
Flip
out
out.
my mouth. And I did everything you could, but it's like I'm still had to teach. This was like between classes that I broke up a fight, you know. So it's like
Nothing sucks up germs like a mouth does, too. There's nothing. You get anything in that mouth, it's right in
Yeah.
the system.
I survived so far.
You lived.
so.
Healthy blood, turns out. So.
Healthy blood, the best kind to get in your mouth.
Healthy blood.
You know, it's a
Healthy
stranger.
blood.
And now I'm pretty sure I'm going to have this student as one of my students now, and so that's going to be
Oh.
awesome. Every time I
I
say
can't
it,
wait
like
for
this.
those stories.
Yeah, can't. Yep, you're stuck in my memory. Anyway, so I did watch some movies, getting into less gross stuff. I checked out. I'm wearing a John Cena shirt. You know, I love him. Mike, I know you're not a big Aquafina fan, but I liked Jackpot, the new Amazon
Oh,
Prime
yeah.
movie. It was super movie. I mean, it was very, very fucking movie, like very premisey. But
Yeah.
I still ended up caring about the characters and thought it was fun. Very
I
much
like
in
the trailer.
yeah, you know, it's in the Running Man field of movies, you know, like Series 7 and that kind of stuff, the most dangerous game kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was fun. There's some twists on it, and the action's fun and the comedy's good. And I thought it had a heart. It was very shallow in a way, but it was, you know, it was fine. It was entertaining. I said I'd do it. I went and revisited Tim Burton's 2001 Planet of the Apes, and
Oh, wow, you did.
Come on, dude.
sometimes
You're
I
a
just
man of
like
your
to
word.
put myself through this shit. I don't know why, but
bet.
I will
Well,
say the makeup and everything is incredible. I will give it that. I mean,
Chip off.
yeah, it looks awesome. So I'll give it that. I revisited a lot of like 90s.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, I can sit here and bash it, but like, you don't need me to tell you that movie sucks. Chances are you're aware, and that ending is baffling.
Oh, God.
I went
Oh,
on.
God.
I went online. I'm like, I wonder what
Lincoln
like
Monkey.
what do the filmmakers say? Like Mark Wahlberg was like on the record, like I don't know what it means. I don't know either.
don't
like
know.
I think they thought there was going to be a sequel that they could make it make sense then, and then there wasn't.
Yeah, I just work here. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Hollywood equivalent of I just worked here. I was following orders.
Yeah.
Did what I was told.
I checked in. Man, I can't tell if I don't know if I want to talk about this or if I want to bring it on the show. I checked. Well, I'm just going to talk about it. I checked in on
Oh!
Phenomenon from 1996 with John Travolta.
I just talked about this the other day. That's funny.
Come
and
on.
Eric, that you're laughing is exactly like kind of why I thought about bringing it on the show, because I kind of threw it on late at night thinking this is going to be fucking terrible. I haven't seen this in forever. No way does this hold up. I loved it. I thought it was really good.
Come on, dude.
Dude, you got John Travolta, and you got Kira Sedgwick, you got Forrest Whitaker, and Robert Duvall. So you got a strong
Forrest Whitaker and John
supporting
Travolta
cast.
together again, huh?
You got yeah. Actually, I'm sure this is when they started. Hey, someday let's make the shittiest movie ever together.
I can't wait, John. I'm really excited.
And I think it's an interesting twist on the Flowers Algernon field of movies.
Okay.
And I gotta say, man, I thought it held up pretty good. It's still very 90s and cheesy. It's not like a 10 out of 10 movie or anything, but like, it's not bad. I thought it was pretty good.
I think people mix it up with Michael.
Oh yeah, because it came out like the
Same
week.
movie, back to back. Yeah, same week. Yeah.
Yeah. And like,
Uh,
it's not. It's not powder. Goddamn.
Not powder.
Oh,
It's
he's
not-
pissed.
That's the quote on the
Oh.
cover box. It's not powder. That's real.
Well, it's not
damn it.
powder.
Yeah.
It's
God
not powder.
damn it.
God damn it.
It's not powder. God damn it.
I saw a friend of the show, Brian Madison, the other day, and
yeah.
so we were talking. This movie literally came up.
Oh, really? That's so
No,
funny.
Phenomenon. Yeah, somehow we ended up on. I started to vouch for late '90s Travolta movies, so maybe I would like
Rightly
it.
so.
Maybe,
I mean, God, maybe I should have brought it up. Maybe I should have just brought it on the show. I
maybe
don't
you
know.
should have. I don't know. You still have the. You still reserve the right. You could watch it again.
It's true. It's true. I could, but I watched some other movies that I've seen a million times, like The Princess Bride, which I've seen easily 100 times, and I've never noticed it's a fucking Christmas movie that it's set during Christmas. Has anyone ever noticed this before? I'm like, how did I just complete? This is complete. It just missed me. Every 100+ times I watched this before, but the beginning, like he literally brings the book. Peter Falk, the grandfather, literally brings this present because it's Christmas. There's Santa Clauses in his room. There's like houses across the street with Christmas lights up and shit. 100% went by me my entire life until this viewing. But
That's still borderline, but okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
it's not.
you gotta
It's not a
do-
Christmas movie. It's a movie set at Christmas, right? It's not
Parameters. Got to be parameters.
All right.
But still, I just never noticed a Christmas tie-in before, which is weird. But lastly, I have a huge recommendation for you, Mike. It's not even a recommendation.
Oh,
It's more me informing you that this exists, because if you knew it existed, you surely would have already watched it and told me that it exists. There is a 5-hour documentary called RoboDoc about the making of RoboCop.
oh,
It
hell yeah!
has
5 hours.
Everybody, it's broken up into episodes, so you don't have to sit down and do it all at once.
Yeah.
But it has literally everybody involved with the making of the movie,
Wait a
except
second.
for Miguel Ferrer because he's dead. Whoever played
Yes.
the old man, Rob Bottin
Yeah.
because he doesn't do interviews anymore.
Yeah.
And what's his name? John Popsicle, I think his name is one of the sound editors. Other than that, everybody that was even remotely involved in this movie gives lengthy interviews, and it is
Dude.
like an in-depth step. I want them to, like, the same filmmakers to attack another movie, because like I've never seen a behind the scenes, like a making of documentary like this. It is so exciting. Like it is
Roddy
just
Cox.
everybody, dude. Everybody.
Actor Peter Weller's refused to talk about RoboCop for the past 30 years.
He gives a lengthy interview about
Oh.
it, and he is on fire. He is so fucking full of piss and
I think
vinegar.
Peter Weller's. Yeah, like, is this newer? Do you know, or older? Do you
Yeah,
have
this
any
is,
idea?
this is last year it came out.
Yeah, I think Peter
2023.
Weller's on a. He's changing his attitude, Eric, because I saw something about him talking about RoboCop stuff on YouTube in the last 2 weeks. Maybe it was a clip from that.
Yeah.
Where's this at? Where's it at? Where do I find this?
I found it on Amazon Prime, but I think that I got it through like Shudder or like some other thing. But so you might have to. Like,
I will
pay-
find you.
You find it. It's called RoboDoc. It is not just. I mean, like, it is the best behind the scenes documentary I think I've ever seen of any movie, because it's so in depth. It is incredibly in
How do they
depth.
explain
Can't
it?
wait. Who cares?
It is awesome. So check it out.
Yeah, thank you. You just saved. I mean, wow! I took a week off at the right time. Maybe this would be my big moment. This is.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
We actually.
Do they have full episodes of that I buy that for $1 show? Like full
They go
full season?
there's like the stuff that was recorded, like that you're seeing on TV with him, is shown in like we get the full sequences of that.
Yeah,
We delete
the
scenes of them.
news segments.
We learn what was supposed to happen with the character afterwards. We get an interview with the actor. We get everything. I mean, like everything. This movie, like, and never, you know what? And I totally put it on like late at night, thinking, okay, I'll just kind of have this on while I'm playing with my phone or whatever. And I couldn't take my eyes off it. Like the whole 5 hours that I watched, like 2 hours that night, and then I finished it the next day. And like it was not like the kind of thing where I was like doing other stuff. I was just like locked in the whole time because it was fascinating.
Yeah. Oh, this is very exciting news. Actually, we finally recorded an episode of Is It Safe last night, and
great.
we talked about. We had a great laugh about the scene in the party store where the guy comes in, the fuck me.
Fuck me. Fuck me.
Fuck me. He's so serious. He can't believe it. He's got to say fuck. Oh, it's hilarious. Check that part of the episode. It's funny. But yeah, I'll totally. Great recommendation. I'm very excited now, Eric. Yeah, this is exciting.
They show them putting all 1,000 squibs on
Yeah.
Miguel Ferrer.
Guile had a comment about squibs in the cornstarch.
There's a lot of talk about squibs and the pain.
Oh, there has
that goes
to be.
that goes into the pain of having those blow up on you. A lot of complaints.
Small
Yeah,
price
it
to pay.
hurts. Yeah,
Small price to pay.
Can't wait for you guys to watch it.
can't wait. Well, I watched. Dude, this is apropos because I watched The Birds. I showed you this on social media. I watched The Birds on my home projector on my garage. Like I went outside, watched the fucking Birds on my garage, and it was big screen, and it was like I felt like I was at a fucking drive-in, and I thought to myself, well, Christ on crutches, I haven't watched a movie outside on a projector since I had the Grunge Party in 2010.
Holy shit!
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember what we watched? We watched Singles and Reality Bites.
Oh, well, how about that?
How about that?
That was a lot of fun. And then I watched, I carried it over. I'm like, this is going to be a thing because it works and it's fantastic. So I watched Donnie Brasco on it. Still holds up completely. And when that was over, I'm like, oh man, fuck. I want more Mafia. I want more Mafia. I want this world to continue. So I did it. I pulled the trigger. It was time once again. Season 1, episode 1. I'm in now. Sopranos. It's over. I'm fucked for the next like 2 months.
You're
Oh,
finally
wow.
watching it because you never watched it before.
There we go.
Oh, what, you kidding me?
Okay. No, I am.
Yeah. I've been through it a million times, but like
Yeah.
I've been waiting, but I'm like the way it's
been a while?
over. It's been a while. The way it's over, I'm back in. I'm in season 2, which is the worst season, but I'm pumped.
Well, yeah, because I guess it's probably been since before Cinema 9, right?
Yeah,
Because
before
I
Cinema
guess
9.
that's why I was saying because me and Mike have talked about it so much on this show.
Yep. And I've been rolling my eyes,
Yeah.
but now I'm like, oh my god, oh my god.
New David Chase Sopranos doc coming out on HBO.
Saw that.
Ready?
Saw
Yeah,
that.
I saw that. I'm very excited for that.
You can borrow the
Yeah.
book that you gave me. Woke Up This Morning by Michael Imperioli and Steve.
I have that. I got that right over here.
Yeah,
It's
you
right
did
here.
both of
Yeah, yeah.
Many Saints.
First
Many
Reformed. We're gonna talk First Reformed yet, or we gotta wait because Ethan Hawke's part of the show later. So.
Saints. Paul Schrader says his next movie is like First Reformed. Just saying.
It's always like that.
It's like that one that you liked, guys.
Yeah, remember the movie I did where they're all like First Reformed? Yeah, it's good.
No, it's not like Touch with Skeet Ulrich. It's like First Reformed
Oh,
with
yeah.
Skeet.
Skeet
Yeah,
Ulrich.
Skeet. Hey, I'm Skeet.
I'm Skeet.
Well, it's exciting, Eric. Anything else?
No, this show is just so fucking good. It's just so good.
It is.
Wow, I haven't heard you talk a lot about it. I feel like maybe I've been not paying attention, but I'll be keeping tabs as you move through the series. Of course, there's a whole world of Sopranos extended analysis on YouTube where you could spend 5 months just watching all of it. So if you
I watch the entire episodes, Mike.
yeah, well,
Good
okay,
idea.
that's because I've been watching. So this guy, everybody who knows me knows I love Cinema Sins. I'm a big Cinema Sins fan.
Yep.
So this one guy is such a fan of Cinema Sins that he basically did his own Cinema Sins verbatim. Just this random guy who's not a Cinema Sins guy for every season of Game of Thrones. So I've been watching those, and these are like hour 20-minute videos each, the whole season. So it's been cathartic. It's been helpful for me as I move through this.
It's trying time.
I don't know. Yeah, well, they were the trying times were there, and I've kind of made peace with the fact that it's just a really shitty show after the 5th season. Hell, even the 5th season kind of sucked. That whole thing with the High Sparrow and all that shit. I was just like, God, in the writing, the more he points out, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, that sucked too. Good God in heaven, that's shit. You got all this great writing and all these opportunities and a story and a world that is so well built. And yeah, everyone's heard it before, blah, blah, blah. They blew it. But, also, Travis, last week I said it was D&D. They're both named Dave. It's Dan and Dave. Sorry about that. But they are still D&D. So,
Okay.
thank you. Yeah, we look forward to. Also, they didn't show up to 2019 Comic-Con, so even they knew they fucked up. They were supposed to be at 2019 Comic-Con, San Diego, the Comic-Con of Comic-Cons, and they're like, we can't make it. We got stuff going on.
That's
Bullshit.
Good call on their part. They would have been torn to shreds that year.
Seth, I saw a video 3 weeks ago. Seth Rogen was at that Comic-Con hyping up Preacher. Remember that show, Preacher?
Yeah.
And he was ripping on him there. It was fucking hilarious. Good on you, Seth Rogen. So, yeah, I guess that's all I've been watching is just nonstop on that YouTube stuff. I haven't watched a movie other than Reality Bites. I haven't sat back. I'm going to watch a movie.
And you finish Reality Bites like moments before starting to record, so you're just like you've had hours to watch these little breakdowns.
Hours.
You're right. You've seen multiple times.
When I was texting you guys, I was like,
you had to push back
shit,
recording multiple days because you didn't watch the movie.
We're
to be
tracking
fair.
this. We're taking notes, Mike.
yeah. No, you should. It's fair. But to be fair,
Logging
2
all
things.
Got an Excel spreadsheet. I just watched
should.
JoeBlow.com for 3 hours. Didn't watch
Our
the
entire
movie.
lives are tracked. We do our text thread, our shows. I mean, nothing's a secret. But I didn't have a copy of this movie, so I finally got a copy of it today because I didn't have it. I was looking for a free copy, didn't have access, just for the record. And then when I was starting to watch it, I would have had enough time before we started the show. But then Leanne came home and she's
All
like,
right.
"Oh, you
don't placate
so
me like I'm your mother, boy."
No, it's great. And she wanted to watch it because she's like, "Oh my God, is that?" We'll talk about the movie shortly, but she apparently loved Reality Bites, and that's what we're about to talk to momentarily. I don't have any other commentary on a movie I watched. CinemaNightPod@gmail.com.
Any comments
Society's
about
Taco Bell Society. I don't know what's going on at Taco Bell lately. I don't know if they come up with anything fresh or not.
I haven't checked in. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Yeah, I'm looking forward to some good times, some updates from Taco Bell and their menu. But, having said all that, we're going to segue into Reality Bites as Eric sits right back down, right on cue, perfect timing. The 1994 selection, directed by this guy. Yeah, Ben Stiller right there.
Ben Stiller.
There he is. Look at how he's never looked so debonair. Wow.
Yeah, it does look good in that photo. You're right.
Yeah. So, 30-year anniversary, Reality Bites, selected by Eric. And, we got Ethan Hawke, Winona Ryder, of course, who will suck up a ton of time on this show for many reasons. But, Eric, you chose this movie, so can you take us back to the original viewing as you unmute yourself?
Michael, thank you for that question. And I do remember my first viewing. It was at the Grunge
Really?
Party in 2010. I'd
Oh,
never seen this
wow.
movie before. Yeah,
Yep.
I'd never seen this movie before. It's like Ange loves this movie. And she's like, "Oh, if we're doing a grunge night, we're going to do Singles and Reality Bites because those are the two Gen X films."
right.
And I'm like, "Okay, whatever." I watched it and I was getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. And I was like, "All right, whatever. Are people enjoying this party?" I was paranoid about people's enjoyment. So I wasn't really paying attention. So I watched it last night, technically for the second time, but felt like the first.
Okay, that's great. Travis, what about you?
I mean, shit, yeah, I saw this. I'm pretty sure 94, maybe 95. I saw it back in the day, and Dinosaur Jr. was on the soundtrack, so of course I was going to be "Oh, what is this movie? I'm going to watch this."
Yes.
And I knew who Ben Stiller was even at that age because he'd done the Ben Stiller show at that point, and I think Cable Guy was. When was Cable Guy? Was that 96?
Next
Okay,
year,
so-
95.
96.
He's definitely
95.
someone that I approached more as I thought of him more as a director and a writer for a long time.
Shit! 96! I can't believe I got that wrong. I'm sorry. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
96.
Well done, Eric. I
Right
bow
there.
down to you. Wow. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, everyone, calm down.
So, but yeah, I remember seeing it back in the day when I was a kid. I definitely had the. Oh no, I didn't have the soundtrack. I didn't need the soundtrack because I had to start chopping single CD, even though I had the cassette of Where You Been. I had to start chopping single CD, which had Turnip Farm on it. So since I already had Turnip Farm, I didn't need the Reality Bites soundtrack. Was my thinking. I
You
stand
missed
by
on a
that.
big mountain, though. So
No, I stand by it.
that Big Mountain video nonstop on MTV in
Mountain.
1994. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
That was
yeah.
actually,
That
I
was a
didn't
big
even,
hit.
look, maybe it's a surprise to you, Travis, but I, like Eric, I never saw this movie until I was about 26, 27, 2007-ish.
Whoa.
So
Okay.
I was totally disconnected from this. And it kind of sucks. I kind of wish I could have been there when it all happened. The truth be told. So this has a,
Wish.
this is, yeah, I do. I do wish. I can't change the future or the past. So the wish is kind of superfluous, but whatever. So this movie was made, I heard a lot about this movie because a friend of ours, Becky Emke, Becky O, a friend of ours in high school,
Friend of ours,
she was like,
friend
she
of
was
mine.
heavily associated with this movie, and I heard a lot of jokes about her thinking she was Winona Ryder, basically, like she wanted to be this character. But I never saw the movie, but I got a ton of jokes from friends during those years. I was like, boy, I don't even know what that means, but okay. And then when I saw the movie, I was like, holy shit, it makes so much sense. Wow, it was like this. If there's a come to Jesus moment, even though I don't really do that. It was like, whoa, wow, okay, I see that. So this girl, this Winona Ryder character, yeah, it was like manic pixie 90s girl, big time. So we'll talk more about that in the show. But that was the first time I watched it, was like just during those late aughts. I don't know how that escaped me.
It's wild to me that Eric, especially that you would have such a fixation on Winona Ryder and having never seen this movie. 'Cause
The
it's
quintessential.
this is it. This is the. I mean, it's not the only one, obviously, but it's the main one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Winona Ryder is my favorite. She might even be just my favorite actor of all time. But
Yeah.
I'd never really taken a good look. I've also never seen like How to Make an American Quilt. So
Oh, dude,
black.
I love that movie.
Autumn in New York.
That's his response.
I love that movie. I grew up on that movie. It's a good movie. I don't know if it holds up, but
I
loved
grew
it
up
back
on
then.
that movie. Okay, well, I apologize.
a lot.
I'm not trying to ruin your summer. So
Don't shit on my Winona love, man.
I won't. We won't.
I love Winona. I mean, everybody. It's a fucking cliche. Every fucking suburban white guy's obsessed with Winona Ryder. I've heard it a million times, and that
I'm
includes
a
me.
certain
So
age.
I'm not special.
I'm
Yeah,
a
I'm not.
certain age.
I'm like everybody else. I'm a typical person. But what is the review on this movie? What is the rating on IMDb for Reality Bites? It's a 90s classic. Is it? Is it not?
Yeah, well, I feel like it's probably. I'm gonna say 6.8.
It's got to at least be a 7. I'm going 7.1.
I think people like it. 7.0.
Okay. Actual. Oh shit! Wow. Travis was close to 6.6. Interesting. I don't know what that says about how this show is going to end up. I love that. I love a surprise like that. That's a surprise. Over on Rotten Tomatoes, a venerable website, a lot of dignity, class, respect, admirable traits.
No issues. not at
Actual
all
quote,
problematic.
unlike
problem.
Megalopolis.
Yeah, no, I don't know. No.
Actual quotes.
85-year-old white men exploiting women in film in 2024. No, I'm sure that doesn't happen anymore.
I'm sure it's gonna be better than Jack. Come on, let's give Francis Ford.
Oh my
Jack.
God, dude! Again, when I saw Brian, we talked about Jack
Talking
and Patch
Jack?
Adams.
Talking
Yeah,
Jack.
yeah. Patch Adams came up, and then naturally, I was like, "Did you know Jack was directed by?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course I knew it was directed by Francis Ford Coppola." I'm like, that blew my mind when I learned that. So.
Every film nerd knows that. It's a classic.
Well, I learned
one
that
of the
one a
classic
few years
wonders.
ago. Yeah, I was late on the party on that one. Twixt.
No,
Betwixt.
Twixt.
Tword, we're so simple.
Mr. Evanson? Betwixt?
Twix.
Lee Burton story. 62% from the thermometer. 62, barely qualifying as a red tomato, but a 74 from this crowd over here. So more well received in the popcorn ratings.
Gen Xers.
As- Yeah, well, maybe the Gen Xers don't want to like anything, even if it's almost a replica of Gen X life of the time period. They're still
Laura chiming in?
damn it, the sword. Mark Norris, was that guy? Dave
Yeah,
Norris? Mark
yeah.
Norris? Yeah.
Yeah.
That
John
nose?
John
John Norris. John Norris.
Matt Pinfield.
Dave Perner. Let's see. Owen Gleiberman from Entertainment Weekly said, yearning, hilarious, lost within their precocious self-awareness. These slackers have soul.
It's funny. Owen Gleiberman was one of the critics that was falsely quoted in the Francis Ford Coppola debacle we were just mentioning.
Oh, well, that's perfect timing. Great.
Hilarious.
I love when I can be timely. Let's see. Karen James of the New York Times, a long time ago, said this. Like the generation it presents so appealingly, it doesn't see any point in getting all bent out of shape and overambitious, but it knows how to hang out and have a great time. Hey, Travis, hangout movie?
It's definitely a hangout movie.
Oh, it is. Okay.
I'd say so. I mean, and a romantic comedy in a way, but or something. There's a romance of some kind.
Of course. Really? Oh,
Happening there.
how about our pal Roger Ebert, long time ago?
Ebes.
What unwritten law prevented the makers of Reality Bites from observing that their heroine can't shoot video worth a damn, that their hero is a jerk, and that their villain is the most interesting person in the movie?
Oh, shit. Oh, boy.
That's hilarious.
Whoa.
I mean, I don't know that the villain's the most interesting. I mean, who's the villain? Is the villain?
I think he's
Ben
Ben
Troy.
Stiller.
Is that what he?
Right?
Oh, Ben Stiller.
I don't know. Yeah, Michael's supposed to be the yuppie scum that comes in and tries to take Troy away from his woman.
Yeah. Troy's the hero. Who's a jerk. Which,
Yep.
boy, is he a fucking jerk?
Yeah, there's more to say on that for sure. There's so much more to say, but we have to give Desson Thompson the floor.
Oh, of course.
Oh my
Desson, old Des.
Don't let me down.
Back during the Washington Post days, a long time ago, Desson said the following. What do you call those things that aren't parentheses, but they're more sharp?
Brackets.
Brackets. Okay. This is in brackets. Childress and Stiller,
Sick.
that's where the brackets end. You sick. Encapsulate an era.
Okay.
So really, it was probably they, because you're talking about or the filmmakers. The filmmakers.
Who's Childress?
encapsulate
I
an
don't
era.
know that part.
Helen Childress. is
Childress.
the screenwriter.
Oh shit. Okay. See, there you go. I didn't look in the details yet. I don't like to go on IMDb of the movie we're about to do because I want to guess the rating. So sometimes if I don't know, I don't know.
But I go to Wikipedia for that stuff before.
You're smart. You're a smarter man than I am.
I do think that like he's got a point. This is in a lot of ways like if you say, "Hey, what's the Gen X movie?" Because what's the Boomer movie? What's the Boomer movie? The movie for Boomers.
Big Chill.
Big Chill. You knew immediately what fucking movie
I knew
was
it.
thinking.
Yep.
Big
So
Chill.
I did.
This is the Big Chill for Gen X.
1994, the movie.
I mean, Singles arguably, but I mean, I think Singles is better. But I mean,
Ooh.
this is pretty much this is the Big Chill for Gen X.
Yeah, but it's, I want to go to what Eric just said there. 1994, the movie's hilarious, but it's also not. There's like a ton of 70s shit and like a lot of older. I'm wondering, like, okay, I know some of them, they grew up in the 70s because 1994, they're born, let's say they're 21 when they graduate, 22 at worst, they're born 1972.
It makes perfect sense because, like, just like because we were like when we were young teens in the 90s. I mean, I got a fucking podcast called 93, 94. That's the equivalent.
Now, yes.
Right.
But in 93, 94, you were loving the shit you loved at the moment. I'm saying there's not enough fresh, like, current stuff they would have loved being 21 years old in the 90s. That's maybe it was like this is what happens with these movies when you talk about pop culture stuff and rights issues. So you never know how this movie could have cost so much, and they got a lot of music in it, right? But it's music that's from the past.
There it
It's
is.
not,
That's it, Mike. They're not dancing to the Lemonheads in the grocery store. They're dancing to My Sharona, which is like from the fucking in early 80s.
so you got that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Lemonheads has got to be on the soundtrack though, right? Because Evan
Of
Dando's
course.
in the fucking movie.
Has to be.
But
That's a good point.
I mean, yeah, there's some. I forget what's
But the soundtrack's doing the work. The
Like
soundtrack
P-Funk
is encapsulating the era. It's not the characters.
Sort of. The characters sort of are. Yeah, I don't think that's fair. I think there's characters, obviously. Okay, so the aid storyline with Vicky, that encapsulates the time frame. It does. That shit was going down. And now watching it, it looks dated to me, frankly, as she's so worried. It's like, you'll be fine. But like it was a rite of, she said it was a rite of passage to get tested. And if you were 21 in 1993, 94, yeah, that makes sense. It does.
That's true. What's Winona's character's name? Is it Leilana?
Lalena.
Lalena. What fucking
Lalena?
Lalena. Well,
Laney?
Lalena is trying to help birth reality television, and that's partly
Yes.
why the movie's called Reality Bites. And I do think that is very, very specific to 1994. I mean, we all kind of watched that happen at that time. It
Yeah.
was like a hot new thing, and like it did seem like, hey, this is going to really take over and be a big deal, and they were right.
First Real World was 92, technically. And obviously, In Your Face TV is MTV, right? So,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
In your face.
Just make sure we all agree.
It's
In your
Houston-
face.
Houston-based MTV.
Yeah. So what about this movie? I thought that was funny too. Like, wow, a movie set in Houston, and then of all movies, the Gen X movie of a generation it's not set in Chicago or
even
LA
Austin.
or
Yeah.
Houston,
Yeah, fucking Houston.
Planet Houston.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that was weird. It was weird. I thought it was strange. I don't know. It threw me off a little bit, but I got back on track. But I did notice that watching this movie, which though I didn't see this movie till 2008ish, I have seen it a ton of times since. I've really enjoyed it.
When it first started, I'm like, because they all act so childish and infantile throughout the entire film. Like when it first started, I'm like, are they graduating from high school or like is this college? Because like, Jesus Christ, they act like middle school kids for almost the entire film.
They act like, okay, well, I disagree with that too. I think they're acting like college kids. Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like they're acting
they're
like
still idiots.
they're slackers, right? Or some of
Yeah.
them are, and they're trying, and some of them are trying not to be. They're fighting against, and that's partly why it's like the Gen X movie too, because that was the
opening.
painting, that was the paintbrush that entire generation was smeared with. You are slackers, and so like they, that is being addressed in the movie, and maybe this helped create that idea too. We're slack
Yeah.
central, where the fuck she says, like.
The master of time suckage, Troy Dyer. Yeah, the maxi pad.
House of
But
Slack, yeah.
the opening gave me. They're setting up like the showdown. Like, screw the boomer jerk. You sold out your movement for a pair of running shoes type. So it's clear they're trying to set the tone there on a division of generations between boomers and, you don't like that?
No, continue.
Well, you sighed. It was a strong sigh.
I just, that part bothered me.
The intro or just that part of it?
Like what
whole
you're
intro.
saying, you're right, but like just keep going.
Okay, I will. So, by the way, the intro gave me strong, oh, geez, Say Anything vibes. I just couldn't get Say Anything out of my head when I saw the intro. I couldn't for some reason. Actually, there was a very good reason. It was the graduation and Iona Sky. But also, Gary Glitter, who's a confirmed pedophile. That's the intro song for that video. Now that doesn't hold up. So just saying. And also, why would they pick the song if this is the song where they're graduating and it's 1993-4 at worst? We're going back to a 70s arena stomper again. It doesn't define that.
Again.
That doesn't fit to me at all now. I see it differently.
Glaringly, that song to me, I made a note like that of to start the movie, for it to be like a soundtrack that purports itself to be kind of alternative, all this stuff.
It should have been "It's the End of the World as We Know It."
Maybe 5 years.
Else.
Yeah.
It's like an '80s movie. It's like an '80s kind. It's like fucking Better Off Dead.
This was Alice in Chains or something. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Anything
weird.
current would have made sense, and anything kind of like it was a weird choice. Yeah, and there's a few weird choices.
I point the finger at Ben Stiller because he's not like he like it seems like he's an '80s kid, and yet he's putting his like '80s kid spin on a 1994 movie that's supposed to be about 23-year-olds.
Yeah.
How old was he at the time? 30 or so? 31?
Benny?
I'm willing to
Stiller.
bet he was older.
Yeah, he was born in the year of our Lord, known as 1965. So he was 30. You're right, basically 30,
Yeah,
29.
because Ethan Hawke, like all of them, but Janine Garofalo was also in her early 30s, but the rest of them, like Steve Zahn and Ethan Hawke and Winona Ryder, were all in their early 20s, I believe.
Yep. Well, look, there's also the fact that Stiller, so he's 20 in 1985, right? So if it's from his perspective, yes, it got a little slanted. It got sidetracked a little bit from some of that stuff was a few years too early for the people the movie's supposed to be about. Okay, it happens, whatever. Not the end of the world, but it is a big point for me now that I stick to. But I also want to say this movie is rife with advertising and like really saying these are children of the height of capitalism in a sense. I really see it through that lens now when I watch this so many times. Pizza Hut, 7-Eleven, the Big Gulp again.
Big Gulp the movie.
Big
Gulp the movie. Big Gulp the movie. Like it's consumerism. The movie. Like it is. The fucking Troy like espouses to be this fucking goddamn Jack Kerouac bullshit.
Dr. Zayas figurine.
All he talks about is fucking like McDonald's and Cocoa Puffs and
Quarter Pounders. Yeah.
Fucking junk food and 70s TV shows. They're not beef poets.
But how about this? Getting gifted a BMW is a major problem.
Yeah. I agreed with the dad. Now that's what's changed.
Oh yeah.
Now until I can get a regular car.
Yeah, she's embarrassed of a BMW. Like,
sorry.
This is a real issue for me. I have a BMW.
That's what sucks about the Gen X ideal. They were like too radically reversed. Like, okay, don't be a prick. Be practical, you dick. Come on.
Be glad you weren't drafted, you motherfuckers.
Exactly. It's a rebellion to just a rebel. And sometimes when that happens, it's pointless. But I know it's a lot of consumerism in this movie, but I do like this part of the movie that these are kids. Again, I feel like they were born at almost the height of now that we know where we are in 2024, the height of capitalism at its finest. It's just America's humming along, and economically when these kids are born and such, it's about to slip and go a different way, but it makes sense. All the references are television and advertising. I really appreciated that part of the movie now, and I didn't really make that connection before, I guess, is my point.
And in that's a really good point. In that way, they do help encapsulate the era and the generation, like our man Destin said.
I like how
They're
they
a product.
set the table. Yeah. Like the first act, I really like. They set the table well. It's got a good pace. We get to know the
saxophone intro.
Yeah. There's good energy. There's a great vibe, and there's great introductory scenes for each character in the first act. And then Helen Childress or Ben Stiller just don't really know what to do.
Really? How so? Like, where does it slip for you? Do you know?
Same conversations happen over and over again. Troy's an asshole. Ben Stiller's like, hey, what's your deal? That happens like 5 more times.
He crossed the lines in the sands of coolness?
Yeah. Winona Ryder tells him off like 10 million times. Same argument. Everyone's pissed. Dark soul of the night. Let's make up.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's wrong, man. I mean, like the movie, like, to get into this, what a fucking prick Troy's.
Yes,
the
let's do
character
that.
Troy is like,
Yeah.
that moment when he is all jealous that she's, met someone else and making out in the driveway, and he walks up to her,
Ooh,
takes her
baby.
by the face, and he's like, "I love you," and then like laughs.
That's
at her.
terrible.
It's so cruel. Like, this is the guy we're supposed to root for. Like, what the fuck is this? And the whole thing with the violent, with added up when he's, why can't I
Yeah.
get screw and all that? Like, or even not even just her. We get Renee Zellweger, a very young Renee
Yeah,
Zellweger in the very
there
beginning.
we
of the
go.
movie. But like this girl that gave you a night of sexual pleasure, and she gives you her number, and you're gonna throw that in her front yard. You fucking
Yeah, he can't even get
prick.
down the steps before he throws the number away. I was
Yeah,
like,
but
okay, you guys are really pushing a point with this guy.
He's a hardcore asshole that I got no affection for whatsoever as I watch this movie.
Yeah, but this guy's real though. I don't like him, but boy, he really rings true to me.
yeah.
Even like this guy, I honestly, I don't think I was ever that guy. God, I hope I wasn't, but maybe I was. But I've known this guy for sure. I've seen him from my own vantage point when I was younger. These people who are so. Troy's character, yes, he was a prick in that moment that you described. Such a cold, emotional thing for someone you have feelings for, even if it's not love, love, love. You care about this person. It's awful.
Yeah.
But what I really pissed me off about him is that he is the ultimate buzzkill. Anytime someone wants to create something or try to do something, he's naysaying it. I've known people like this in real life, and they did it to me, and it sucked, and it's always stuck with me too. I hated how much it would stick with me when, like, you had an idea or you wanted to try to branch out to, I was writing a song or a creative idea of any form that just gets shit on. You're like, oh my God, why is this guy having such an impact on me? He's such a fucking bummer, and he is.
You're
Not
right.
sure you've ever made fun of someone for their assumed IQ, so I definitely wouldn't call you this big of a douchebag.
Thank you. Okay, good.
I have a guy that like he there's nothing intelligently written that's good enough to tell me that like he's supposedly this smart fucking guy. We're just kind of like, we have to assume it, I guess. He gives some speeches that are just ripped off. I mean, there's nothing that to attach ourselves to it.
Well, he's a singer in a band, so he's artistic.
Even
That's
that
play.
Like if he was a writer, that'd be more like intimidating, I guess, than some like dude in a fucking band that anybody could pick up a mic and do.
Well, we talk about Winona Ryder being the manic pixie dream girl, but there is no 90s equivalent for what Troy is, but it is an archetype. And as you say, Mike, it's definitely someone that I know and can see myself in a little bit, whether I want to or not. Someone that makes a bigger deal out of things than they need to.
Or poorly handle things that you wish you didn't now looking back. I know I did.
In his 20s, in his early 20s, they're definitely not emotionally mature, despite being around like some, a good woman, like not knowing how to handle it. There are things about him that, I can like, all right, yeah, and of course he's being portrayed by Ethan Hawke, who is one of the best actors of his generation.
Yeah.
So,
Leanne was giving him shit while we watched it. She's like, yeah, everybody said he was so hot. He wasn't hot. He's gross. I'm like, oh, that's refreshing. Good. Okay, cool.
that facial hair is super creepy. So wispy and thin.
Yeah, she said his teeth were bogus, but then I defended him and said, well, wait a minute, wait. At least this is a time when not everybody had perfectly white teeth in movies, okay? So I'm defending him. I'm going to stick up for him on that one only.
Yeah, that's true.
But, hey, guys, remember Janine Garofalo?
She was a thing.
Yeah. I miss her. She's funny.
I missed her in the movie too because they introduced her. She was interesting, and then she was gone for an hour.
You're right. She was one of the more her and Steve Zahn both get pretty
Steve
fucking sidetracked, and they are more interesting characters than we get to spend time with. You know, one of the more interesting moments in the movie is when the fight that happens between Janine Garofalo and Winona Ryder over like when she offers her a job at
oh yeah, I was gonna say which one, because they have the two. There's the phone bill one, and then there's the first one. Okay,
the Gap one, when she's like, I wouldn't work at the Gap, and she tries, but I didn't mean like. There's no fucking backing out of that. Like you really put your foot in on that one. And then of course the big scene, one of the big scenes in the movie is the treatment of Steve Zahn, a very straight man, but whatever. You know, playing a guy who's coming out to his mom, and they do an okay job with that in terms of him like sitting there talking about how he wants to get back in the house and how they have all these the whole rehearsal that takes place where like this is how they hope it's going to go and all that. So they do a pretty decent job kind of showing the whole coming out thing, but it's all happening on Leilani's, or whatever the fuck this character's name is, on her screen while she's editing. So we don't really get to spend, like, we don't get to be up close with the character while he's dealing with all this shit.
Okay, I wanted to praise Janine Garofalo more, but I've made it clear. I think she's hilarious. I always loved her and stuff. So it's great to see her and be in a movie where she's funny, but she's a good actress. I think she does good work in this movie. But yes, the storytelling method of this documentary, where she's not just trying to make a documentary, she is videotaping very personal moments that they're cool with, I guess, even though they bitch at the beginning of the movie, like, does this have to be Memorexed, or, you know, can you get your camera, get your head out of that camera's face, get your face out of there?
Yeah, they're not signing up for national syndication.
No, but like it's never discussed, so you don't really get like are we just like, okay, well, we're all artists, so we are down with this? That's not really made clear either. I don't know. It's kind of goofy. I guess it works because it shows you video versus film, and you know, reality versus actual reality. I don't know.
So, the premiere at In Your Face.
Yeah. Pizza Hut.
I remember when at the grunge party, at least, thinking that like it was a hit, like, and it was a success, because I remember like that being like one of my favorite parts of like the movie, and I guess like everyone was pissed, including Lelena. I'm sorry, it was much better than her shitty footage. Like they made it better.
Well, they took
Why
out.
Why is she mad?
Because they took out all the nuance. They took out the actual parts of their life and like turned it into a commercialized, MTV style editing, like.
But that's what they were talking about. Like all they were talking about was fucking fast food and old TV shows and like colloquialisms from consumerist bullshit. That's all they talked about. Nothing they said was interesting or intelligent. It was
not under orders to make the world a better place.
I don't know that nothing they said. Okay, so I mean, there are personal moments. Like they're very specifically were shown footage of them talking about their relationships with their parents and going through their parents' divorce and the very like intricate details of that. And then we see how that's cut up to like just literally give you like a couple seconds of footage that is then turned into a joke. So I mean, however much you as a viewer find that interesting, that at least would be personal from the character's perspective, and have it all just kind of edited out. I could see where she would be like, that's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to show actual humans here.
Right. It's supposed to be like, he says, I know you wanted maybe more of a PBS vibe, which would obviously that's a different vibe than MTV's reality stuff. So it's made clear to me that she doesn't even know exactly what she wants to portray, because, which we haven't talked about. Yeah. John Mahoney, Good Morning Grant, which she works at. John Mahoney's great in this. He's such a great actor. I miss you, John Mahoney. Good job, buddy. But she's trying to like do this really artsy thing, but she's interning at this job, which she's barfing at right away. It's so cheesy to her. She loathes it. I mean, sit down, have a cup of joe. I mean, obviously she hates where she's at. She's just trying to move forward because that's what you're supposed to do. But it's mixed messaging. I like, she doesn't know what she's doing, but that's also kind of a well done part of the movie. It's confusing, and then she gets stuck in that world of like, oh, I'm overqualified, but I'm underqualified. She go through that series, a montage of video interviews, irony? Define irony, which Troy nails because he's so smart. Actually, Eric, that's the example. He knew irony right away, so he is the genius.
But he read it. He's regurgitating Gordon Wood. He's a
But at the point, it's a confusing time too. They're out of college, but she's trying to start a career, but she wants to do different things. I think now that I'm saying it out loud, I understand that it shouldn't be clear cut. It should be confusing to her. She's not sure what direction she wants to go.
She's also kind of pissed that she's making $400 a week at 23 in 1994.
Yeah, that's like 43K a year today, which is not great. I lived on that for a while, but it's better. It's better than the average 23-year-old is typically making.
Yeah. No, nothing else on Good Morning Grant? You didn't love it?
He's a dick. I don't know. I mean, he gets his comeuppance. It's not. I mean, yeah, I don't. It's. I feel like it's one of those things that we get more time with John Mahoney because it's John Mahoney, and I'm not complaining about it because I like John Mahoney, but I don't know how much all that is necessary to what's really happening in the film.
Well, but she's also a talented young female, and he's a fucking old white dick too. So
Yeah,
I do see that a little bit more now.
Yeah,
Not that that's the focus of the movie, but
and he literally like is tell. Yeah, you're right. He like don't give her any. Don't give her any chances. All that.
yeah,
stuff.
he doesn't give her a chance at all, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Even though the producer guy, who's that producer guy, by the way? He seemed like a good actor. Someone hire that guy. I don't know why I thought that, but I did.
Yeah, I don't think they made Michael enough of an like whatever he's even. I don't understand this character. If he's
a
supposed
yuppie.
to be this yuppie scum,
Yuppie scum.
there's like nothing unlikable about him. It's not like he like knowingly sells the tape, knowing exactly what they're doing, tries to convince her that it's the right direction.
He's
always just
clumsy.
like, oh, sorry, didn't know. Oh, sorry, I love you. He's like trying to do the right thing. He's sincere. He's genuine. Like
He's a pushover.
what's wrong with that?
He's a pushover. He's clumsy, and he listens to hip hop while he drives. They listen to Squeeze. Which, come on, we tore Squeeze CD apart in our high school hallway.
Oh,
Fuck that.
I had that cassette.
Like that song.
I liked it later. I didn't.
like that
Okay, fine. Yeah,
But
That's
well, he's also financially stable. Not cool. No one likes that.
yeah. That's what she
this-
loves about him, though. I think
No, you're right, Eric. I think
a little.
that, yeah, of course, that's partly what she likes about him. He's got his shit together. She's trying to get her shit together. He's successful in the creative field of entertainment, which she's trying to do. There's all kinds of reasons for her to like him. But yeah, I agree. The audience likes him too. It's like the only real mistake this guy makes is a mistake that she's making by giving up complete creative control. She gives him all of her shit, and apparently does not say, "Hey, don't change it. I've edited it." The movie's shown us her editing this stuff.
He
so
doesn't
like,
betray her in any way. He just like offers her an opportunity that it turns out she didn't like,
and then he
She
doesn't.
was all
understand-
about it.
and it's not his fault.
And then he doesn't understand why she's mad, and I think that's really the problem. Because I think things could have been worked out if he hadn't been like, we can take the Pizza Hut stuff out or whatever the fuck it is that he says. The fact
But he
that,
comes
like,
back next time and says, "I realize what I got wrong, though."
Yeah, but it's too late by that point. She's already slept with.
Oh,
Troy.
she's had Troy Dyer's dick. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
you're
and
right.
once she's touched that, it's all over. She's into Troy now, I guess. But that's I mean, she cheated on him. That's another thing. How long is he in New York for? I mean, like he goes to. I mean, they're pretty much together, right? I thought her and Michael are together. He goes to New York, but the whole time he's gone, like she loses her job. She becomes a slacker. She's gone long. He's gone long enough that the phone bill comes with all of the calls that she's made to
A month at least.
Yeah, it's like he's gone for like a month. So I don't know what's, and then like it's like they're not talking the whole time he's gone. I don't know. I thought that was a little weird.
Oh,
Yeah, this psychic friends. It's just too on the nose. It's too okay. We get it. Miss Cleo's
What?
on late night TV.
no!
Let's have
Come
her
on, that's
call-
real, dude.
No,
It's even-
she's supposed to be the fucking valedictorian, and she acts like an idiot for 3/4 of this entire movie.
Well, it happened at the Roundhouse. I thought it was very real. I was like, yeah, that happens. That's immediately what I thought of. The 900 calls. I was like, yeah, that shit happens, man.
No, you're right. I like that. The roommate that's driven up the phone bill is very realistic. But no, Eric, that's a good point. She's supposed to be the smartest person, not in her high school, in her fucking college. Yeah, and she doesn't really demonstrate that at all in the film.
Doesn't mean she's emotionally together, though. I think there's differences here. Obviously, she could have been really driven. Now, she is driven. She's ambitious, but she's got shit to learn still that she hasn't learned. I think that's not too ridiculous. I don't.
I'm glad that you got that from it.
Thank you. Well, it's good. So I wanted to mention that there's a lot of cigarettes in this movie. I just want to say,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I
All
did.
I want is you, and all I want is throat cancer and you. All I want is
Hey,
throat
man.
cancer. Do, 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 do,
pack of smokes, cup of coffee, and a good
Cool.
conversation. That's all they need. But it turns
great.
out that wasn't all they needed, because after a penis inserts in a vagina, something changes. And it did.
And scene.
Good. Did you notice when they're talking like that, Troy's wearing a one button only? All of his other
Oh,
buttons.
yeah.
You did notice that.
Did I
Good.
notice? Fuck yeah, I noticed. There's a lot of shit that is, very 1994. The fact that the characters are chain smoking through the whole movie, and that
Yes.
he wears his
Yep.
fucking shirt with just the top button. This
Yep.
shit is all very 1994.
She smokes in the editing bay at the studio. I'm like,
Oh.
wow, yeah, that was a different time.
Yeah.
It's true, though. It's not fake.
Oh no,
That
he smoked
happened.
everywhere in the 90s. I mean,
Everywhere. Yeah. Big boy. Ruben
big
would love
boy.
your cigarette at Big Boy.
Here we
Doctors
go.
would smoke while they're delivering babies.
Yep.
Yes. Well, does the Gap still exist, by the way? Is that gone?
Gap. The Gap.
I think the Gap's
Yeah.
gone. I haven't seen a Gap in a long time, or in the ads for it in a long time. I feel like it must have gone.
It's over?
It probably got bought out by Old Navy or something.
Did you love David Spade's fast food cameo? It was hilarious. I love that bit. Made me
Months
laugh.
at the Wiener Schnitzel. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. That was the most unrealistic fast food interview ever, though. Nobody's been grilled that hard for a goddamn fast food job. I know this. I've worked at fast food. I've eaten all the fast food this country has to offer. I know fast food. That's bullshit.
I do have to say, when this is after I had a fucking Bachelor of Science degree, and I was broke. I couldn't find a job with the degree I had in marketing. I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do? So I fucking applied for like a second job at Little Caesars. I applied for a job at Little Caesars. I'm like, how bad could it be? No one goes there. No one goes to Little Caesars. I'll probably just be standing around waiting for someone to like get a hot and ready. And like the fucking guy interviewing me is like, you got 2 degrees? Like you're overqualified for this. Like, why do you want to work here? All we do is make pizzas. And I'm like, I kind of felt like Lelena in that moment. I was like,
That's funny.
I don't know. I really need this job, and I'm committed to making these hot and ready's not dry and awful. And he's like,
But
"Get
they
the
will
fuck
be."
out of here." Yeah, he's like, he told me to just get out of there.
Was he was like Keith David saying this wasn't going to work out?
He was
Yeah.
like, "Son."
Maybe your gut's telling you're hungry. Yeah. Have a little hot and ready.
Or is
Actually,
it
we have
like-
that comment, Eric. We both worked at Little Caesars. So there
There
you
you
go.
go. Or was he more like Andy
I didn't
Dick
get the
at was it
Shit.
Muscle Cars and Beautiful Women?
Yeah. Muscle cars and hot bods. Yeah.
yeah.
That was great, Andy Dick. I mean, he was on the Ben Stiller show too, so I saw that connection. But yes, there's some fun cameos there with everybody popping in. I don't know who the old lady was, so I don't know her. Sorry, who asked about irony. What else? What else do we need to talk about with this movie, guys? Dave Pirner. Yeah, Dave Pirner back there.
Dave
Pirner?
he gets billing. It's not a cameo. He gets
does.
billing for reading a magazine and uttering a single sentence in one scene.
Hey.
He's trying to get his SAG insurance, man. It makes sense. He's a
Speaking
struggling
part.
musician.
Taft Hartley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evan Dando gets billing. He's in a fucking after credit scene or mid credit scene.
Yeah, I was looking for him. I didn't really see him.
He was he was in the mid credit scene with Karen Duffy.
Yeah, that's right.
Or Duffy. and
Yep.
She was
Karen
on,
Duffy.
just Duffy,
Duffy.
back in the day. Speaking of
Duffs.
MTV peoples,
Yeah.
Duffy.
I'm not. I've never crossed that line in the sand of coolness, so I'll never know. But okay.
Oh, hey,
Troy-
smoking weed out of a pop can. The
Yeah!
aluminum foil bowl with turnip
Bogart
farm.
that
Dynasty
can,
Jr.
man.
Yep, you got Dynasty Jr. in a weed pop can bowl. I'm like, this is
Yep.
again. I can relate. 1994, way too well.
I will. After I saw the movie, I definitely admit that I answered the phone and said, "You've reached the winter of our discontent." I definitely did that. I did. I liked it. I thought it was
Did you know?
fun.
Did you know what you were actually quoting, or did you just think you were? quoting
I never read it, but I think I knew what I was quoting. Yeah, but I never read it. So
That's funny.
Well,
yeah.
Well,
Wait. Because we didn't really cover this enough. So, her parents,
yeah.
Swoosie Kurtz,
Yeah, that's right.
the most prominent of the 4 parents of Elena, Lelena,
Lelena. La Lena.
But I gotta say, so right after the graduating opening theme thing, after Gary Glitter, a confirmed pedophile, is over, they sit down for dinner. Troy Jones. It was a great rocker. It's too bad, but it's been outlawed and it's done. It's not available anymore. But Troy joins them for dinner and he buzzkills them all by saying, "Oh yeah, my dad's dying of prostate cancer." Like, oh gosh, maybe our problems aren't so serious. But the vibe at that table, with these two parents trying to tough it out, who are divorced at their daughter's graduation dinner, man, it just gave me vibes like, oh, this is good. This hits home. This is good. It was. I thought it was.
Yeah, I thought that worked too.
I love
My
when
parents wouldn't even sit for that dinner.
I love on this show when we start identifying with the parents of our main characters.
Oh, because the car thing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're closer in age to them, to those actors.
Well, if I got a BMW, I mean, I wouldn't turn it down. But
I wouldn't shame someone for giving it to me. That's for goddamn sure.
I thought the divorce aspect of these two couples really was portrayed well. It made sense to me. But her parents, specifically her birth parents, it seemed way off. Like she was not a product of them. I don't know why. The casting was, I know it's not a huge role who's playing her parents, but it felt like some other people would have been more realistic to have come together to create Winona Ryder's character. It bothered me a little bit. I really didn't feel like Swoosie Kurtz and this Texan, that guy who's in a bunch of movies, that guy, I've seen him in a bunch of dumb movies.
Field.
Yeah.
Like
someone one of the two of them needed to look remotely like Winona Ryder.
Great, because when she tells her sob stories about her parents and her mother was going to kill herself after her father wanted a divorce, I see Swoosie Kurtz as being frail for a moment, but I don't know. That part didn't ring true to me. It bothered me, but
Did you know
the divorce
that
part of it
the
mattered.
cast was thoroughly, I'm not going to say coerced, but they were encouraged to not mention Gen X during the promotion of this film because they didn't want to be in a Gen X film because Singles like tanked at the box office, and they're like, we don't want it to be like Singles, like just promoted a romantic comedy.
Really?
That is funny because I mean, it ended up getting that
Label.
that label anyways, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we haven't mentioned maybe the biggest achievement from this film.
Lisa Loeb.
Yes, you read my mind. That's right.
Lisa Loeb.
That video,
was
man.
huge.
Yeah,
That video. Yeah, I mentioned
Huge.
Big Mountain video. What was I thinking? Yeah, Lisa Loeb's Stay video was
and
monstrous.
all I want was you was that song was from U2 was 1989 I think, and it was like brought back. It was like re-released as part of this. So I remember it being really big at the time because of this movie too. So both those songs were like pretty all over the place.
It's a good song.
Yeah,
I liked
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't as familiar with it from U2's catalog, but it doesn't really. Okay, it's the ending of this waiting, but it works.
Got to rush to the airport. You got to have the talk. Oh, come on.
What? Come on, front door romance. See, we had a lot to say about society and young people of this generation, but in the end, it was just a cheesy romance. Because Mr. Brady died of AIDS.
He didn't, though. I was just reading about
really?
Reed, and he did not die of AIDS.
That was a lie? National Enquirer? Headline news? 1990s? I remember it.
No, he was homosexual, but he did not die of AIDS. It was
Holy shit.
heart related.
You just blew my mind, man.
They just lied in this film.
God damn it. Well, that's just
Well, they
this
lied
film.
on newsstands. They lied a lot of places.
Yeah, that was a big lie for the era because I remember
Not AIDS
thinking that.
related. He was just a gay man who died of like natural causes. I was
damn it.
pissed when I saw this the other day.
Fucking National Enquirer.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right-wing
damn it.
bullshit.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was
thanks for
not.
setting
It
it
was
straight.
the cause of his death was cancer.
Yeah, cancer.
So-
Yep, that is
asshole.
not AIDS.
Fuck you.
But he
Alan
did have
Silver.
HIV though. He
asshole.
did have HIV, so it's not like a total prick move necessarily. He did have HIV.
Well, that didn't kill him, but okay.
Right. Now we're getting. Yeah. This is. We're.
Getting into the gray area.
Yeah. We're not able to bottle the energy between Schneider and what's her face. All right. So I don't know those 70s shows as well as the 80s shows. If there's a television show from the 80s, I know it, but I didn't know that one. Well, Eric, you picked it, so I guess we're. By the way, before you say something, there's no. This movie's all soundtrack. Like, there's no score, right? I'm pretty sure. I was looking. I was trying to pay attention. I
I mean,
didn't
is there
really.
someone credited with it?
I'll look, but I didn't hear a damn thing. I was like, this is just a soundtrack movie, which I kind of like. I kind of like that they went that route if they did.
Basil Papadopoulos? Robodoc?
There's a pretty decent remix for the. For that.
Anyways, go ahead, Eric. It's
no, I'm
your
not
control,
stealing
my
the
friend.
composer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of it.
Danny
Listen,
DeVito produced this. So
he did.
Oh yeah,
He-
I wanted to say that. Sorry. It's him and Michael Schamberg are producing or executive producers. Excuse me. And then Stacey Sher is listed as like I think an associate producer or some other kind of producer. But the three of them, like they end up having a long career together. I think this is like where their names would be like side by side. They produced a whole bunch of shit, like Get Shorty, for instance, ton of shit from the late '90s and early 2000s. The three of them. So I feel like
Gattaca. Stacey Sher did Gattaca too. Produced
Yeah,
Gattaca. Aaron
Out of
Brockovich.
sight.
Vanilla Citizen Dildo.
ton of shit. So I feel like this was pretty early in their collaboration, especially since they weren't like in the exact same level where you'd ordinarily see their names side by side. In the credits.
Oh, Gene Triplehorn was in this, uncredited.
What?
Damn it!
What?
Yeah,
Where?
uncredited.
No shit.
Says
I would've remembered
uncredited.
that. I would have remembered that.
Uncredited,
Maybe a voice in the phone or something.
or she got cut. Yeah,
Would have been a great
It's on-
mother to Elena. Listen, man.
that would have been
uh,
right.
Too young.
We got a
to
great soundtrack. We got a great soundtrack, man. We didn't talk about David Byrne or Crowded House. Like the music is great, but in my opinion, the music does all the work. The music does all the work, and at the end of the day, we've got like an episode. We got like the season finale of Party of Five. We got the season finale of Party of Five. That's what it feels like emotionally. Cast does what they can with this material. Steve Zahn and Janine Garofalo start out interesting. They fucking vanish and they're replaced by this like tepid, like boring, run-of-the-mill romance that we've seen a million times. It's supposed to be this fresh game changer. It's not funny. It's not romantic. It's not that smart. All we have is a bunch of people fucking complaining the entire movie. All we have is a bunch of people either complaining, talking about pop culture or junk food, and arguments. It's a bunch of gnashing of teeth for like 95 minutes. It's gnashing of teeth for 95 minutes. And this supposed happy ending is misguided because she should have wound up with the other guy who was better for her, is for how smart she was. The movie doesn't hold up, dude. Like I can watch it and be like, 90s were fucking awesome. I fucking love the 90s. And then I remember and it was great. I get warm and fuzzy, but this movie is not good. Doesn't hold up at all.
Maybe since I grew up with it, I have different feelings. I got the nostalgia factor going with the two of you. Don't have it as much. Mike, I know you said you watched it a lot since you did originally see it. But I feel like this is the kind of movie that can have an impromptu dance sequence in a gas station and have it work. You know what I mean? I don't feel like it's super cheesy and awful and like that. That should be an awful moment in the movie. It should be really cringy. But instead, I buy it, and I kind of believe that the characters are doing it. And I agree that there's many issues with this movie. Most of your points, Eric, I agree with, honestly. The romance is horrendously misguided. It makes me very concerned for Helen Childress. I hope her life worked out well if this is how she views, like, relationships, because especially Troy. I mean, look, this is your male, like, romantic lead he is a fucking prick. But and I also agree that the music does a lot of the heavy lifting as far as the emotional work goes. But yeah, maybe it's my nostalgia for it. I do feel like it's a bit of a time capsule, and it makes me very reminiscent for that certain time and place. And it's something that, you know, I watched a lot at the time, and so I have the affection for it. If I watched it for the first time last night or whatever, maybe I would see it more clearly, but I've got the rose-tinted glasses on with it. There's a reason why I guessed about 6.8. I wasn't thinking, hey, this is a 10, because I know it's not a 10. I think this movie is flawed in a lot of ways, but it's still enjoyable to me. I'm going to give it holds up.
Govier's got to break the tie.
Do the right thing.
And by the
What
way,
does your heart tell you?
well, my heart tells me that
Listen to your heart.
the Helen Childress probably had what happened to her, what happened to Lainey in the movie. I bet her original
Elena?
vision was doctored. And
Oh, no.
yeah, so Helen Childress maybe had a different view of what this script was. She wrote the script. She was 19 at USC, and who knows? Who knows what it became versus it's got to be a mainstream Hollywood movie, which this is. It is. I don't know what the budget it is on it, but it's not a. This is an indie, right? We would not call this an indie.
I mean, it was a studio picture. But
Okay,
we
never clarified.
Yeah, they didn't dump a ton of money into it, I don't think, but enough to get David.
Okay,
Byrne.
yeah, it's not Independence Day, but yeah, they got to give the rights to all the music they got, and that's always cost pretty penny. And Ben Stiller is from Hollywood People, so obviously he was already making hay. Look, I think that this is a movie about young people still. Yeah, it's not about high school people, but it's still about young 20s. They're not 28, they're not 30, and there is a difference. There is. These are stupid people. They don't know what they're doing yet, which I say stupid people because I was so stupid. When I was 21, 22, I was so dumb, but I had less of a care. There was more freedom, and I was like, fuck it, we're all going to die anyways. Yeah, that's what I thought even then. But so it made it easier to just be stupid and free. And yeah, and maybe that wasn't the best way to go about it, but there was a lot of good times. But there's also a trail that leaves. Troy has a trail of assholeness. It just, think of Pigpen, except it's like a trail of people lives are being destroyed. Yeah. It's not a dirt trail. This guy's a prick, but they've got this connection, which, by the way, this connection they all had from college, I don't know. I don't know if I buy that. It's not like this is there's chemistry here with these kids, but I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a side note, but it does matter to me, and I do think about shit like that. I think about all this stuff. And this movie is fun, though. There's a lot of fun moments. The gas station scene, you're right. They're dancing like doofuses, and it kind of fades out. It fades to black on that scene. That's usually like, dude, what are you doing? But it did work, Travis. I do agree. And Troy's pissed as hell. So he's staying in character. Like, he's like, I'm stoned, dude. Can I have my Pringles? Like, he doesn't want to be a part of that. That rings true. Yeah. Again, he's a fucking buzzkill. He's such a bummer. I can't believe he's in a band. Who would collaborate with that asshole? You want to put an idea out to Troy Dyer? Like, I know I won't get rejected. No. If you've been in a band ever, even a shitty local band, you want to have your ideas not be totally shit on. At least have a conversation. Troy would have shit on him. There's no doubt about it.
You're right.
So. Yep. In the end, this movie has some authenticity, but it's a little misguided. But man, it's entertaining, and I don't give a fuck if she should have ended up with Michael or Troy. I really don't. I mean, it's not my life. Was it entertaining? Was it a stupid decision? Maybe, but it was entertaining enough. I like this movie. It holds up to me. It's enjoyable to watch, and even I didn't watch it in 95, 96, 97, but I grew up in that period enough where I kind of agree with Travis a bit. Like, yeah, there's some nostalgia there, but. I just think a lot of these people are real. People are flawed. And these people are all flawed. And I think that's real. I do.
Script is flawed. Man, when the person who brought it is the only one holding on. It's rough. It's going to be a rough night. You guys are getting texted tonight.
What are you holding on to?
My belief that you guys would have a change of heart and say, you're right. Not good.
I will say it's not particularly good, but that doesn't necessarily keep me from liking the movie.
Yeah.
I watch movies that are not good and like them all the time. And I watch movies that are good and am bored to fucking tears all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. You're right. You goddamn right.
When I'm right, I'm right.
That's what this show's about, man. I mean, it's subjective as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, your complaints are so valid, though.
Yeah.
All right, stand with you there.
Good.
Makes a lot of sense to me. You know movies, Eric. You do.
Thank you.
So I'm on the board, right?
Yes,
yep.
sir.
You're up.
Okay. I wanted to pick this one before, but I held off, and now I'm so excited now because we're gonna do it. And we're going back to '91 now, so we're only 3 years prior to this film. And man, this movie's. I can't wait to watch it. This movie's wild. This is wild shit. It's a 1991 film starring Denzel Washington.
What?
John Lithgow. Kevin Pollak.
Oh, my God.
Yes, we're doing Ricochet.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
I used to watch a shit out of this movie when I was coming home from after school or HBO. I've seen that movie a lot, but I have not seen this movie. Damn. This is a classic example of, wow, it's been a while.
Great call, dude. Wow, Ricochet. Yeah. It's been a long time.
I know when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I forgot about that movie, but that movie's perfect for this show for me. Yeah, so I'm very excited to do
It
this.
could be awesome. We could laugh at it. I have no idea. It could go any way. I'm excited.
Talked about it a couple years ago. You guys better strap in.
It's been a while, so looking forward to watching it. Ricochet, hopefully it's available. It's a Denzel watching. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. But in the meantime, email the show, CinemaNinePod. Let us know what you thought of this episode. What did we get right? What did we get wrong? Are we fools? What a fool believes. Doobie Brothers. Travis, Eric, Michael, that we love doing the show. Thanks so much, and that'll be all, gentlemen. Thank you, gentlemen. That'll be all.
Mommy, why do I hate myself?
I'm bursting with fruit flavor.